let's jump into this last story. First, I want to tell you about two things. If you did not know, and I held up three fingers,
Yeah, you did.
I want to tell you about riselentless.com, RISELENTLESS, riselentless.com. I sell fun mugs for entrepreneurs, hustlers, and anyone that dares to dream. And also, I want to tell you about something interesting that's happening right here on Idiots versus Idiots. I've started my own podcast where I talk about cars. I talk about the car industry and the car business, and same basic format, except I am not burdened. I'm not weighed down by the big man. I
So
get to
he's
just fly free.
piggybacking off of my awesomeness,
Uh huh.
essentially.
Well,
And, and trying to create his own thing. So,
well.
like every good marriage, every
Uh
good
huh.
relationship
We have an open
requires
relationship.
some, flexibility to let the other person be them. So, you know what? I'm going to allow Danny to have his
Allow,
thing.
allow.
All right,
Okay.
Danny to have his thing. And y'all all know if you have someone, you care about, that you try to let them do their thing. So, his is a car show, and good for him.
Called Carspiracy because I'm the Alex Jones of cars.
I have no doubt about that, brother.
Right.
Anyway, what do we got
So,
last, bud?
this new company called My Heritage, which spooks me out, and I wish they would stop.
I was actually really surprised. Y'all may not know this about Danny, and it's as how do I say this? As brash as Danny can be, you might be surprised to know how freaked out Danny gets by the smallest little things. He's actually, without being too superstitious, he's really superstitious.
Yeah,
So
well,
like,
kind of.
he doesn't like scary movies,
Oh,
anything that freaks him out. Like, he's a fraidy cat is what he is. He's
well,
a fraidy
okay.
cat when it
I
comes
don't
to
want.
certain subjects.
Yeah, I don't watch scary movies because they give me nightmares, and I'm a grown adult. There's no reason. There's no reason to put myself in that situation. Okay.
So you get something like this. This company, My Heritage, is actually one of those DNA companies that's where it
Yeah.
makes its money. Right, is you submit your DNA, it sells you. It collects your data, sells your own data,
Yeah.
that kind
Yeah.
of
Go
stuff.
ahead and just send your DNA to the internet. That sounds like a smart
Oh,
idea.
well, and we'll get into that as part of this story of part of its terms and conditions that have come under question, this particular company. But
Right.
this is a new product that, okay, by the way, you should really look into what products you're using. It's called Deep Nostalgia is the name of the
Yeah.
product.
It's a
And it
type
was
of deepfake
created by,
AI.
yeah, it was created by an Israeli company called DID, that the original use of this software that they created was to sell to people that did not want their face scanned, basically to sell to criminals, to change their eyes so that
Well,
the current used
I
facial ID software
uh,
could not identify criminals.
I am not a criminal, sir.
I didn't
And
say you
just
were.
okay, and just because I don't want my face scanned does not make me a criminal. It
I'm
makes me a
just
god.
saying.
Makes me a patriot. That's what it makes
That's
me.
all I'm saying is, so the creator of this software, DID, that was their intent. They then now licensing this software to
My
My
hair.
Heritage. My Heritage is rebranding it as Deep Nostalgia. And the point of
Yeah.
this, look, folks, you should, if you really want to be creeped out a little bit, you should definitely go to Google, type in Deep Nostalgia, look at some of these, and
Or
essentially it's taking a
or
photo.
if you just want to click the link in the description.
Click the link in the description. I'm sorry. But if you look, and essentially you upload a photo, and their idea is, okay, they're trying to get you with these old photos to get you, again, to sell your DNA, right? Let them tell you about your
Yeah.
past and whatever. But essentially takes a single photo and then animates it with artificial intelligence mapping, right? Tracking
Yeah.
someone's face. And it is ultra creepy. Ultra creepy to be able to upload just what you're thinking in your mind about an old black and white photo of your great 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 Aunt Sally, right?
Yeah.
And then it processes, and Aunt Sally's all,
Yeah. No thanks. Just stop,
like,
please.
It is. I went through about a dozen of these
Yeah.
before we started, and it got just creepier and creepier and creepier as it went along. Like, I don't know what the point of this is, except for just a good old fashioned.
Okay. I saw a TikTok on Instagram of a guy showing his elderly father a animated this deepfake AI of his father, and his dad was like not he wasn't freaked out in a weird. He's like, oh wow, so that's nice, but also stop,
Like
just
it,
don't.
it's well, and here's the thing: they're gonna get you. Here's where this is not a bad business idea. Is the first one's free, right? Several of them are free. Now you still have to register. You got to give them an email address or whatever. But the first couple of them are free. But if you want unlimited, right, of these per month, there's a fee structure to it, and good for them. And here's the deal: people will pay for something like this, at least for a while, because it's super duper creepy. It's super duper, you know what I mean? We might have to do an episode on this where we actually upload some photos in real time and do it right there just to
No,
creep Danny out.
we
But
don't have to do any of that.
but then so here's my problem with it though is you've got this MyHeritage company, which is a real company doing DNA testing and informing people, but they've already been by a couple of different countries. They've been sued because of what they're doing with your data. People don't understand that about these DNA companies, that you all sign these terms and service, and yes, they send you that you're
Man, it's an
60%
oops.
European and
It's an
50% whatever.
oops.
But now they turn around and sell all of that data to other people, and this company is not only doing that, they're not only selling your information, they're like getting way into it. They've been sued twice because their terms and conditions are so unhorrible. At one point, they were said to be illiterate or something like that. Like, it was that dumb. So you're not only selling your DNA data to this company, now you're sending them photos that they can then turn around and do with whatever they want to do with them. You're not even owning your own photos anymore.
Yeah, I know. It's an oops. Okay, they didn't mean to do it. They love you and they have a plan for
Yeah.
you. So the
Yeah.
reason I
Yeah.
included this story is simply because no thanks. I'm a person, I call myself a technologist, sort of, but I believe that there's no reason we shouldn't jump on board and adopt the all that technology has to offer. But as I've gotten older and as time has worn on, I start to understand the position that is like, hey, let's go live in the woods and not do any of this nonsense, right? Like,
Well,
it's too far, it's too much.
how do you know? I mean, look, there's going to be a time in the not so distant future. This actually was a lot of talk on TikTok this past week about the deep fake Tom Cruise guy, right?
Oh, the fact that you even have a TikTok, I don't even
Hey,
know how to deal with it.
jump off the bridge. The
Yeah.
point is the Tom Cruise, right? And there's this guy on TikTok that has made himself famous in the last couple of weeks about how showing how simple it is
To
with his
deep fake
body
him.
type to deep fake
Yeah.
Tom Cruise and do this kind of thing.
Are you saying I can't deep fake Tom Cruise?
No, you cannot. But the point is how in the not so distant future do you tell the difference between, because we live in an environment, especially when it comes to
News and
news and
politics
stuff like that, where we use video as evidence, right? Here's a
right.
video of
And
Danny doing something really stupid with somebody he shouldn't be doing, and
well, okay,
we,
take it
as
easy.
99% of the viewers, take that as reality,
That's
truth.
fact. Yeah.
Whether you actually get convicted of it or not is irrelevant, right? So how do you create a future where we can, something as easy as this, right, comes along, and then I make a video of Danny doing something stupid that he shouldn't be doing, right, or whatever.
Okay, take it easy.
I'm using Danny as an example here, but so how do you rectify that, right, in
Right.
this kind of world? Because I guarantee you, when you go and you look at the current deep nostalgia products out there, right, that of people that have already done this, it is super duper realistic and super duper creepy. Now, it's not, you can sit there and if you watch it for a second, you can see the bits, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A
But
little bit, the
okay,
eye movement, but it's close.
So like 5 years ago, when they were talking about deep fakes and how good they were going to get, they had come out with some of a former president saying things he never said in a setting he
Right.
never was in. And they're like, yeah, the technology is only going to get better rapidly. And I thought, I mean, how much better can it really get, right? Oh crap! How good did it really
Yeah.
get, and how quickly? Easy, right? And so I think the only takeaway for me is don't trust your eyes, friend.
This software is creating movement from a single
Yeah,
still picture.
right.
I mean, deepfakes up to this point were straight out of Mission Impossible. You needed several photos, you
Yeah, it
needed
was
directional
crazy.
photos, right? You needed to plug in, right, essentially a 3D model to
Yeah,
make
like
this work, to make a
and
deepfake
and
work.
you needed a lot of processing power to even get it to work. In
Right.
addition to the what you needed for, you know, do you see what I'm saying? Like
Now
so,
now
it's
here's an
wild.
app that fits on your phone that you can
Yeah,
upload a single photo that it's
and
using an
it's
algorithm to fill in the blanks.
wacky town. Okay, like that's what I'm saying. Is like we went too far.
Yeah, and again, I think just like you said about the deep fake from 4 or 5 years ago, I think it's just going to progress and continue to get right.
Yeah,
Where I mean, there are people that are writing stories and books right now that are talking about the whole avatar thing, right? Like I can no, well, I don't mean switching bodies. I'm talking about from an electronic standpoint that
right.
you and I could be doing this podcast, and I make myself look however I want to look, and it
And
looks realistic, and that is my face to anybody watching the show.
yeah, and then all we do is feed because as the visual AI gets better, the audio AIs they're getting really close to where you can't tell it's a robot talking to you, right?
Oh yeah, no, they
Because
what is it? Last year or this year's technology conference or whatever? They
yeah,
did some where the computer created the face. Like it's
yeah,
not even a picture of someone else.
and it's
The
just
computer
talking.
generated
Yeah,
what he thinks, right? They put in,
yeah,
all right, Anglo 30
yeah,
something, whatever. They put in the stats, and the computer generated a realistic looking person based on that input,
yeah.
and then
So I'm
talked.
here's all I'm saying, right? Is buy some land, put up a barn, move to the woods. You know,
I'm
I
just saying.
yeah no listen um it's hard for me to see the value. And most of the time, whether it's cell phones, it's 5G, whatever thing that people are like, oh, it's going to kill us all or it's going to ruin our lives, I can always see the other side of it where, okay, I understand that you're concerned, but the upside benefits are uncalculable for the average person, right?
Hmm.
The ubiquity of the internet and how that's freed so many people, all this other stuff. This stuff, I go, no.
Did you ever see Her by Joaquin Phoenix?
No, or with Joaquin Phoenix. No, I
With
didn't
Joaquin,
watch
I'm
that because
sorry.
I'm not insane.
You should. It's a great
No,
movie, but it
I
kind of
I did
speaks to this.
I did see the Joker, and I start to see where he's coming from with Joaquin.
But anyway, this is the whole, and look, this conspiracy theory of this has been
Oh
around since the 80s and 90s, right? You know what I
yeah,
mean? With all of this, how artificial Terminator, right? Like
yeah. I
all
mean,
these things, but
and
it's
there
going
was
to
a
get
guy.
super hard to understand what's real and fake.
Yeah, and there
And
was
then
this
you add
guy
that with an unethical news
cycle.
cycle.
Yeah, and there was a guy who kind of had some of these thoughts, but he took it to a completely different place, and he's in prison now. And his name was Theodore, and I can't say his last name, but it starts with a K. But I just, I think we had a good show, and I just want to wrap up by saying this one thing. If you are arguing with someone in public, put your phone on speaker because I want to know whose side I'm on. That's all.
Whichever side is the crazier, that's what side you're on. We appreciate you folks. We'll see you next time.
Bye.